Milk is probably sitting in your refrigerator right now. It feels familiar, comforting. For decades, it's been marketed as a symbol of strong bones, good health, and simple nutrition. But what if that innocent-looking carton is hiding risks no one warned you about?
From harmful bacteria to hormone-disrupting formulas that strain your kidneys and raise blood pressure, some milk brands are quietly breaking your trust every day. Today, we're uncovering 9 milk brands seniors should avoid at all costs, and 2 that are actually safe choices.
Number 9. Fairlife Milk.
Fairlife built its reputation on a powerful promise: ultra-filtered milk that's higher in protein, lactose-free, and supposedly better for your body. The sleek bottles look premium. The price tag reinforces the idea that you're buying something special. Their marketing paints a peaceful picture: happy cows, green pastures, wholesome farming. Everything about the brand whispers, "You can trust us."
That image collapsed in 2019. Undercover footage from Fair Oaks Farms, one of Fairlife's major suppliers, revealed shocking abuse. Workers were filmed beating calves with metal rods, violently throwing animals into trucks, and leaving sick cows to suffer without medical care. The footage triggered nationwide outrage and multiple lawsuits. Investigators later confirmed the abuse wasn't isolated, it was systematic.
What most people never hear about is how this kind of cruelty can affect the milk itself. Extreme stress causes animals to release hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which can enter the milk supply. These stress hormones have been linked to chronic inflammation, something seniors dealing with arthritis, heart disease, or autoimmune conditions absolutely do not need.
And the problems didn't stop there.
Fairlife was later hit with a class action lawsuit over misleading protein claims. Independent lab testing found that some bottles contained significantly less protein than advertised, up to 30% less in certain cases. Consumers paid premium prices expecting premium nutrition and didn't get it.
For seniors relying on protein to maintain muscle strength, prevent frailty, or recover from illness, those missing grams matter.
Fairlife milk tastes smooth, rich, and slightly sweet thanks to its filtration process. It feels indulgent. The bottle feels solid and high-end in your hand. Everything about the experience suggests quality. But what you can't see, taste, or feel is the broken trust behind it.
For older adults who depend on accurate nutrition labels to manage diabetes, kidney health, or muscle loss, misleading information isn't just frustrating, it's dangerous. Fairlife promised transparency and integrity. Instead, it delivered documented animal cruelty and questionable quality control. The warm, wholesome glow of its branding hides a far darker reality. When you pour that milk into your glass, you can't see the broken promises mixed in with it.
Number 8. Great Value Milk from Walmart.
Great Value is Walmart's store brand, and it dominates American kitchens for one simple reason: price. That familiar yellow label shows up everywhere, and for millions of seniors living on fixed incomes, the lower cost feels like a practical choice. When every dollar counts, saving a little on groceries feels necessary. But here's the question most people never ask. Why is it so cheap? What corners are being cut to make that price possible? Great Value milk is sourced from a wide network of dairies across the country. While that keeps costs low, it creates serious quality control challenges. When milk can come from dozens of different facilities, maintaining consistent safety standards becomes extremely difficult. In 2023, FDA inspections documented multiple issues at facilities supplying Walmart's dairy products, including inadequate monitoring of pasteurization temperatures.
Records showed milk wasn't always heated to safe levels. When pasteurization falls short, dangerous bacteria like Listeria monocytogenes and Salmonella can survive, completely invisible in the milk.
For younger, healthy adults, mild exposure might mean a short bout of stomach trouble. For seniors, especially those on blood pressure medication, immunosuppressants, or managing kidney disease, Listeria infections can be life-threatening. According to the CDC, adults over 65 are 4 times more likely to be hospitalized from Listeria than younger people.
Those numbers represent real lives, real families, real emergency room visits from people who trusted a familiar brand. That cheap gallon of milk can quickly turn into an expensive hospital stay, or far worse. Consumers have also reported milk spoiling days before the expiration date, with thick clumps and sour odors that shouldn't exist in fresh dairy. Others describe an odd metallic aftertaste, another red flag that something isn't right. One consumer described opening a brand new jug and being hit with a smell like rusty pennies mixed with sour cream. The milk looked perfectly normal. The jug was cold to the touch. Nothing seemed wrong until it was. That's what makes contamination so dangerous. You can't see it, smell it clearly, or taste it until your body starts reacting.
Walmart promises everyday low prices on essential items, but when quality is sacrificed to meet rock-bottom prices, seniors end up paying the real cost with their health. The Great Value label makes it feel like a smart deal. In reality, it can be a gamble with your well-being on the line.
Why do the cheapest foods so often come with the biggest health risks? Is it coincidence, or is there a pattern most people would rather ignore? Number 7. Horizon Organic Milk. Horizon Organic is one of the most recognizable names in organic dairy. Walk into almost any grocery store and you'll see their cartons lined up, decorated with rolling green fields, blue skies, and cows peacefully grazing. The USDA organic seal sits front and center, promising clean, wholesome milk free from synthetic hormones and pesticides. That promise is why people are willing to pay more. But federal investigations revealed a very different reality behind some of that milk. In 2022, the USDA revoked organic certification from a major Horizon supplier after discovering that cows were being kept in feedlots instead of grazing on pasture, as organic standards require. Rather than roaming open fields, many animals were confined to crowded pens, eating grain instead of grass, and living under stressful conditions that directly violated organic rules. Investigators documented thousands of cows that hadn't had meaningful access to pasture for months, even while their milk was still being sold as organic. This matters, especially for seniors. Grass-fed dairy naturally contains higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids and conjugated linoleic acid, both linked to heart health and reduced inflammation. Studies show grass-fed milk can contain up to 3 times more omega-3s than grain-fed milk. When cows are fed grain, even under organic labeling, the balance of fats shifts toward omega-6s, which are associated with increased inflammation. Seniors managing cholesterol, blood pressure, joint pain, or chronic inflammation are paying premium prices expecting superior nutrition and may not be getting it. Horizon has also faced lawsuits over how it marketed omega-3 content. Some products were fortified with DHA derived from algal oil, yet the packaging led consumers to believe the omega-3s were naturally occurring from grass-fed dairy. That distinction matters. For seniors taking blood thinners like warfarin, unexpected omega-3 supplementation can increase bleeding risk. Accurate labeling isn't a marketing detail,
It's a medical necessity. The milk itself tastes clean and mildly sweet with that familiar organic richness. When poured into coffee, it creates that comforting swirl of white against dark brown. But good flavor doesn't erase broken promises about how the cows were raised or what's actually in the carton. Horizon sold a picture of organic purity. Investigators uncovered industrial shortcuts. The peaceful farm scene on the packaging simply didn't match the feedlot reality behind the brand. Most people never learn which milk brands are truly safe, but we'll break that down at the very end. Stay with us because you don't want to miss the 2 brands that passed every test. Number 6. Lactaid milk. Lactaid changed the game for millions of people who struggle with lactose intolerance. The idea was simple and reassuring. Real milk with the lactase enzyme added so you can enjoy dairy without bloating, cramps, or discomfort. No more skipping ice cream at family gatherings. No more sitting out while everyone else enjoys pizza. For seniors, this was especially appealing. As we age, our natural lactase production declines, and research suggests up to 70% of adults experience reduced lactose tolerance over time. But in 2021, Lactaid's parent company, HP Hood, issued recalls for multiple products after testing revealed potential contamination with industrial cleaning chemicals. Samples taken from store shelves showed traces of sanitizer agents, including sodium hydroxide. Imagine pouring what you believe is safe, enzyme-treated milk into your breakfast cereal. You take a bite, expecting comfort and nourishment, and instead unknowingly consume chemicals meant to clean factory equipment. Exposure to these substances can irritate the digestive tract, causing nausea, cramping, burning sensations, and, in severe cases, damage to the stomach lining. The symptoms don't feel like a mild mistake. They feel like serious food poisoning. And for seniors, recovery can be slower, harder, and far more dangerous.
For seniors already dealing with GERD, stomach ulcers, or taking medications that reduce stomach acid, such as proton pump inhibitors, even small amounts of chemical irritation can cause serious problems. A digestive system that's already compromised has no extra capacity to absorb another assault. What might be uncomfortable for a younger person can become dangerous for an older one.
Beyond contamination recalls, some gastroenterologists have also raised concerns about long-term reliance on added lactase enzymes. When the body receives enzymes from an outside source day after day, it may slow down or reduce its own natural lactase production. Over time, this can actually make lactose intolerance worse, not better. What starts as a helpful workaround can quietly turn into a dependency.
Seniors who rely on Lactaid may eventually find they tolerate regular dairy less than they did before. The solution becomes a requirement.
Lactaid tastes almost identical to regular milk, maybe even slightly sweeter. That's because the lactose has already been broken down into simpler sugars like glucose and galactose. The flavor feels like relief and freedom from digestive trouble, but taste can't warn you about chemical contamination or the slow dependency that may be forming with every glass.
Lactaid promised comfort without compromise. Recalls and medical concerns suggest the story is more complicated than the marketing admits. Are recalls just rare accidents, or are they simply the ones companies couldn't hide? If this kind of information helps you shop more safely, consider subscribing. It's free, and it helps ensure you never miss these consumer exposés.
Number 5. Store brand organic milk.
Kroger, Safeway, and Albertsons.
Store brand organic milk looks like the smart choice. You see the national organic brands priced high, then notice the store version sitting right beside them. Same USDA organic seal, same promises, lower price. Why pay extra just for a name?
Kroger's Simple Truth, Safeway's O Organics, Albertsons Open Nature. On the surface, they all claim to meet the same organic standards as more expensive brands. It feels like savvy shopping. But here's what most shoppers don't realize. Many store-brand organic milks are produced by Aurora Organic Dairy, a massive industrial supplier that has faced repeated federal investigations for violating organic standards. Aurora operates huge factory-style dairy facilities, nothing like the small family-run farms pictured on organic packaging. These are operations managing thousands of cows for maximum output.
In 2017, a major investigation found that Aurora cattle spent most of their time in feedlots instead of grazing on pasture, directly violating organic requirements. Aerial photos showed vast dirt lots packed with cows and little to no grass in sight. In 2022, the USDA again took enforcement action against the company for failing to meet organic livestock standards. This wasn't a one-time issue, it was a pattern.
Aurora supplies milk to multiple grocery chains under different private labels. That means cartons from different stores with different designs may actually come from the same problematic source.
For seniors, this deception costs more than money. You pay extra for organic because you expect cleaner milk, better animal welfare, and better nutrition, higher omega-3s, beneficial fatty acids, and reduced inflammation. When industrial producers exploit organic loopholes, you lose both financially and nutritionally.
Your inflammation doesn't improve. Your heart health doesn't get the support you were paying for. Industry estimates suggest Aurora supplies about 15% of all organic milk sold in the U.S. That means roughly 1 in 7 organic cartons could come from facilities with documented violations. That should concern any senior who trusts the organic seal at face value. The milk looks the same. The cartons show rolling hills and red barns, but the supply chain behind that image may lead back to an operation that repeatedly failed to meet organic standards. Store brands promise organic quality at a better price. Federal investigations suggest they may be delivering neither true organic practices nor the premium nutrition seniors expect.
Have you ever opened a carton that tasted off well before the expiration date? Share your experience in the comments. We want to hear from you.
Number 4. Borden Milk. Borden is one of America's oldest dairy brands. Elsie the cow has been smiling from cartons since 1936, becoming a symbol of trust for generations. Your grandparents drank Borden. Your parents did too. The brand feels like tradition, almost like family. But that long-standing trust has been repeatedly shaken by financial turmoil and ongoing quality control problems. Behind the familiar mascot and nostalgia lies a company whose reliability hasn't always lived up to its legacy. Borden filed for bankruptcy in 2020, becoming the second major dairy company to collapse that year, just months after Dean Foods. The entire dairy industry was under intense financial strain, and when companies are fighting to survive, quality and food safety are often the first things to suffer. When money gets tight, cutting corners becomes a survival tactic. Budgets shrink. Equipment maintenance gets postponed, employee training is reduced, supplier checks become less rigorous, quality assurance staff are let go, safety margins quietly disappear. After Borden's financial troubles became public,
consumer complaints began piling up. Shoppers reported milk spoiling far earlier than the expiration date, sometimes within just a few days. You bring home a gallon expecting it to last the week, and by day 3, you're dumping curdled milk down the sink. Others noticed a stale, off smell when opening a brand new carton. Not fully sour, but not fresh either, a warning sign that something went wrong during storage or transport.
Fresh milk should smell clean and neutral, almost slightly sweet. Any sour or musty odor means bacterial growth has already started. For seniors, spoiled milk isn't just unpleasant or wasteful, it's dangerous. The same bacteria that cause milk to sour can trigger serious gastrointestinal infections.
Older adults taking proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux face an even higher risk. These medications reduce stomach acid, which also reduces your body's natural defense against foodborne bacteria. The medicine that soothes heartburn can leave you more vulnerable to contaminated food.
Borden's recovery remains uncertain. Since bankruptcy, the brand has changed ownership multiple times. Each new owner brings different priorities, different cost pressures, and different quality standards. That instability increases the risk of inconsistent safety practices across production facilities.
The milk still looks normal in the jug. Elsie the cow still smiles from the label, evoking decades of trusted tradition. But behind that familiar face is a company that's been in turmoil, delivering unpredictable quality to seniors who deserve better than rolling the dice with their breakfast.
Number 3. Dean's Milk. Dean Foods was once the largest dairy processor in the United States. Its milk filled grocery shelves nationwide under the Dean name and countless regional labels. Millions of gallons were processed every day. Their trucks were everywhere. Dean Foods felt unstoppable.
That empire collapsed in 2019 when the company filed for bankruptcy, sending shockwaves through the entire dairy industry. A giant had fallen, and millions of consumers were caught in the fallout. Court filings and inspection records revealed years of declining quality as the company struggled to stay profitable. When profits vanish, safety budgets are often the first casualties. FDA inspections in the years leading up to bankruptcy documented worn pasteurization equipment, delayed maintenance, and sanitation shortcuts. Cleaning protocols were shortened or skipped altogether. Experienced employees left and replacements weren't properly trained.
When a company is fighting for survival, food safety becomes negotiable.
After bankruptcy, Dean's facilities were sold off to different buyers across different regions. That shattered any unified quality control system the company once had. The Dean's milk you buy in Texas may come from a completely different owner and management team than the Dean's milk sold in Ohio, yet the packaging looks exactly the same.
Consumers began noticing the difference. Some reported milk with odd textures, slightly grainy, as if tiny particles were floating in it. Others found visible specks that should never appear in properly processed dairy. Many noticed inconsistent taste from one purchase to the next. One week it seemed fine. The next week, something was clearly off.
For seniors managing diabetes, consistency matters. Protein and carbohydrate levels affect blood sugar control, and diet plans depend on reliable nutrition. When processing varies from batch to batch, maintaining stable glucose levels becomes much harder. Dean's once promised dependable dairy from America's biggest processor. Bankruptcy and fragmented ownership have left behind a brand that can no longer guarantee consistent quality or safety. The jug looks normal, the price seems reasonable,
But behind that label is instability, and that means every purchase becomes a gamble seniors shouldn't have to take with their health. Don't go yet. The 2 milk brands that actually passed safety tests are coming up at the very end. Knowing them could completely change how you shop. Stay with us.
Number 2. Hood milk.
H.P. Hood has been producing dairy products in New England since 1846. That's nearly 2 centuries of history. The brand leans heavily on that legacy, promising farm-fresh milk backed by generations of experience. In the Northeast, those familiar red cartons feel almost timeless. Many people grew up with Hood milk on their breakfast tables.
But history alone doesn't guarantee safety. When systems break down, even the oldest brands can fail. In 2023, Hood recalled multiple dairy products after discovering potential contamination with foreign materials, specifically small pieces of plastic from deteriorating processing equipment. Machinery had worn down, fragments broke loose, and those pieces may have entered the milk supply. Picture pouring milk over your cereal and unknowingly swallowing a sharp plastic shard. For seniors, especially those with digestive disorders, dentures, or swallowing difficulties, this isn't just unpleasant. It's dangerous. A fragment like that could cut the esophagus or puncture the stomach lining. FDA inspection reports also raised concerns beyond physical contamination. Records showed instances of improper temperature control during milk processing. After pasteurization, milk must be cooled quickly and consistently. That window is tight. When cooling systems falter or temperatures fluctuate, bacteria that survived pasteurization can multiply rapidly before the milk ever reaches your refrigerator. You buy the milk cold, assuming it's safe. What most people don't realize is that certain bacteria actually thrive in cold environments. These cold-loving bacteria can grow even at refrigerator temperatures. Even worse, some produce toxins that aren't destroyed by heat. Boiling or cooking the milk later won't protect you. For seniors with weakened immune systems, exposure to these toxins can lead to severe gastrointestinal illness and hospitalization. And the scariest part? The milk looks completely normal. Smooth texture, clean white color, neutral smell. Nothing warns you of the danger hiding inside. Hood's long New England heritage and familiar packaging suggest reliability. But recalls and inspection failures tell a different story, one of aging equipment and gaps in quality control. Nearly 200 years in business and still unable to guarantee plastic-free milk. That reality speaks louder than any nostalgic marketing. Isn't it strange how billion-dollar food companies issue recalls, yet their products are right back on store shelves the following week? What's the worst thing you've ever found in your milk? Share your experience in the comments. We read every one. Number 1. Dairy Pure Milk. At the top of the list, the worst offender, we have Dairy Pure. Dairy Pure marketed itself as America's largest fluid milk brand, built around a reassuring 5-point purity promise. The message was carefully crafted. No artificial growth hormones, all milk tested for antibiotics, continuous quality testing, cold shipped from local dairies, and sourced from American farms. 5 promises, 5 reasons to trust what was in your glass. That image fell apart when Dairy Pure's parent company, Dean Foods, collapsed in bankruptcy in 2019. The company behind those guarantees no longer existed in the same form. But even before the bankruptcy, the purity promise wasn't as meaningful as it sounded. Independent testing revealed that Dairy Pure's antibiotic claims, while technically true, were deeply misleading. Every drop of milk sold in the United States is legally required to be tested for antibiotics. Every brand does it.
Dairy Pure simply repackaged a federal requirement as if it were a special feature, like a car manufacturer advertising that its vehicles come with brakes. In reality, much of the 5-point purity promise described minimum industry standards that all dairy companies must meet.
More concerning was Dairy Pure's local dairy model. While it sounded comforting, it created serious quality control issues. Different regional facilities operated under different management teams with different equipments and enforcement standards. What passed inspection in one state might never have passed in another.
Consumer complaints reflect this inconsistency. Some shoppers reported perfectly fine milk. Others described cartons that spoiled quickly, tasted strange, or had unusual textures. Same brand, same label, completely different experience depending on where it was processed.
For seniors, that kind of unpredictability is unacceptable.
Managing chronic conditions requires consistency, especially when it comes to nutrition. Doctors and dietitians give guidance based on stable protein, fat, and carbohydrate intake. But how do you follow medical advice when the same brand delivers different quality every time you buy it? The carton looks reassuring. The promises sound comforting. But behind the label is a fractured system that can't guarantee consistency, and seniors deserve better than guessing when it comes to their health.
The bankruptcy also exposed another quiet cost-cutting move. Dairy Pure had been stretching its supply chain. Milk advertised as locally sourced was often traveling much farther than shoppers realized. That freshness promise didn't always hold up. Longer transport times, combined with temperature fluctuations along the way, increase the risk of bacterial growth. In dairy, every hour counts. Every temperature swing makes the problem worse. Dairy Pure's marketing painted a picture of exceptional purity and care. The reality was far less impressive. Basic industry standards wrapped in premium language, delivered by a company under financial stress and unable to guarantee consistency. The milk looks clean and white. The cartons highlight American farms and wholesome imagery. But behind that comforting picture was a brand making promises it couldn't reliably keep, especially to seniors who trusted the label.
Every claim on the carton, every point in that purity promise either repeated legal minimum requirements or relied on standards consumers couldn't verify. That isn't transparency. That's marketing disguised as honesty. The two milk brands that actually deserve your trust. Now for the good news. There are milk brands that truly deliver. Brands with verified safety records, consistent quality, and real transparency. These companies earn trust through their actions, not just their advertising. Safe choice number 1, Organic Valley Milk. Organic Valley isn't owned by distant shareholders pushing for ever higher profits. It's a farmer-owned cooperative. That difference matters. When farmers own the company, cutting corners doesn't help them, it hurts them. Their livelihoods, reputations, and communities depend on doing things right. The cooperative includes more than 1,700 small family farms across the U.S., all held to strict organic standards and regularly audited by independent third parties. These aren't paper audits. Inspectors visit real farms and verify real practices. Because the farms are small, oversight is meaningful. Cows genuinely graze on pasture. Grass is not a marketing slogan, it's daily reality. Independent lab testing consistently shows Organic Valley milk contains higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids and conjugated linoleic acid than conventional dairy. These are the nutrients organic milk is supposed to deliver, but industrial organic often fails to provide. The results are public and verifiable, important for seniors managing inflammation, heart health, or cholesterol. Organic Valley also offers full supply chain transparency. You can trace your milk back to specific farms and see exactly where it came from. That level of accountability is almost unheard of in industrial dairy. FDA inspection records show strong, consistent performance at Organic Valley processing facilities. The cooperative invests heavily in equipment maintenance and employee training because any quality failure directly affects the farmer owners themselves. The milk tastes clean, rich, and full. In whole milk versions, the cream naturally rises to the top, a sign of minimal processing that preserves nutrients. No shortcuts, no tricks, just real milk. For seniors who want genuine organic integrity, verified nutrition, and traceable quality, Organic Valley delivers what others only promise.
Safe choice number 2. Maple Hill Organic Milk.
Maple Hill takes things even further. They specialize exclusively in 100% grass-fed organic dairy. While many organic brands still allow grain and call it organic, Maple Hill cows eat only grass and forage for their entire lives. Not mostly grass, not primarily grass, only grass. That commitment creates a nutritional difference you can see and measure. 100% grass-fed milk contains dramatically higher levels of conjugated linoleic acid, up to 5 times more than conventional milk, along with higher omega-3s and healthier omega-6 to omega-3 ratios. These differences matter for seniors managing arthritis, cardiovascular disease, or autoimmune conditions. The science is well established.
Maple Hill works solely with small family farms in New York's Hudson Valley and nearby regions, areas ideal for grass-fed dairy. Every farm undergoes annual third-party audits to verify grass-fed practices. No exceptions, no loopholes.
Transparency is built into the business. Maple Hill publishes detailed sourcing information so consumers can verify claims themselves. Processing happens in smaller facilities with strong FDA inspection records. The company uses low-temperature pasteurization, preserving more beneficial enzymes and proteins while still meeting safety standards. The shelf life is slightly shorter, but that's the trade-off for better nutrition.
The milk itself has a natural golden tint from beta-carotene in fresh grass. That color isn't cosmetic, it's proof of real grass feeding. Industrial dairy is stark white. Grass-fed milk has a warm glow. The flavor is creamy, complex, and naturally sweet, without the flat taste common in mass-produced milk.
For seniors seeking maximum nutritional benefit, verified animal welfare, and consistent quality backed by real transparency, Maple Hill sets a standard few brands meet. Not all milk is created equal. Some brands quietly put your health at risk, while others genuinely protect it. The difference is knowing which cartons to trust and which ones to leave on the shelf.
Your refrigerator shouldn't be a gamble. Subscribe now, and if you're watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.